Okay, so we're going to be talking how to start using your watercolor to start your good copy painting over here. Before we do anything, the supplies you need are going to be your watercolor tray over here. These just kind of like open and close like this. And you're going to need a water cup over here. And I would grab a couple brushes, a couple watercolor brushes, kind of like some smaller ones, some medium-sized ones. And we have some special watercolor brushes that we'll give you that are different than our acrylic painting brushes. These hold water a little bit better, the bristles are a little bit thicker, and the water kind of absorbs into them a little bit more. You want a clean water cup. I was just painting a little bit, so mine's a little bit lime green, but I can still use it. As long as it's not turning like murky brown or really dark, you can keep using it. So what I want, just because it's watercolor, doesn't mean you want to use a lot of water. You actually want to use just like a slight little bit of water, not too much. Another thing you're going to need is actually either a scrap piece of paper. You can use like a little scrap piece of paper on the side here, or you can use a paper towel too to blot off your brush. As you can see, I'm kind of blotting off the brush, so like there's not too much water on my brush as I do this. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit of water first right here, just a little bit of water so the brush is damp, and then I'm going to select my color. Okay, now my red right here, this red is a little dirty, so I'm just going to go ahead and take some water and going to wash it out first. Okay, try and clean it up. Your color is going to get a little messy as you go here, so if you wash it out a little bit and then you just clean off your brush, that's what you want to do. So I'm just going to strain it off as there's a little bit less water on there. Now I first want to take a little bit of water on my brush and I want to pull up a lot of color. So I'm pulling up a lot of color. You can actually see on the brush that there is some red on the brush, and I'm just going to start out here and I'm going to make a really bold red, dark red color here. Okay, so we have red, and then I'm just going to take a little bit of water and take some paint off my brush. Okay, and the watercolor, just kind of very lightly dabbing it in there, and then there's less paint on there because I just put a little bit of water on there, and it should kind of fade to like a medium style red. And then finally, if I take even more paint off my brush right here, so it's just pretty much all water, it's going to make a third shade of red that can just kind of blend together and fade together, and it should get lighter and lighter and lighter as it goes to there. Now you can always overlap colors too. A fun one to do that I always like to do is put a little bit of purple into the red, and it almost makes like a darker maroonish type red right here on the outer edge. So you can go from a purple to a red, and I can always come back with a little bit of that red and mix it over the purple too, so it helps blend and fade a little bit better. And you know, I could end with a little bit of washing off my brush. I could take a little bit of yellow and kind of mix a little bit of yellow over top of the red right here. It kind of creates like a kind of neat sunset type effect. You don't really have to do that for the purposes of this project. What you guys are going to do is this. You're going to take whatever color it is you're using. This time I'm going to use orange. Notice I cleaned my brush out first, taking my orange. Okay, now I notice there's a lot of water in here, so I'm just going to kind of dab my brush off a little bit, and then I'm going to make a dark orange outline around this shape here. Okay, how you hold your brush. You want to hold your brush like a pencil. Don't hold your brush all the way out here like this because you have less control over it. Okay, you want to hold your brush all the way down here like a pencil, and keep your hand against the table. Don't paint in midair like this where your hand's going to be really shaky. Keep your hand against the table or your elbow against the table, and make nice smooth brush strokes. Try not to paint over the black lines. Try and stay inside the lines. And I'm going to make a nice orange outline around the outside here and go a little bit thicker now that I made some nice outlines. And this is where it gets easier. Okay, so then I just take a little bit of paint off my brush so it's a little bit more watery. Okay, you can see hopefully that that's one shade a little bit lighter. And then finally, I'm going to take a little bit more paint off of there so that maybe, hopefully, it's even lighter in the center here. And just kind of washing that off into a really light faded effect in the center. And that looks good. That looks good. If it gets too dark in the center, let's say it gets too dark in the center, you can always just take a clean brush and just kind of like blot out the center with just like a little bit of plain water with no paint on it. And you just kind of blot that out, or take a piece of paper towel and just kind of blot that out a little bit like that too. and I'll make it a little bit lighter in the center. And I think that looks like a pretty good representation of what we want to do in our final copy here. So now looking at my final copy, you can see I started everywhere where the word star is bisected, or there's a line intersecting through it. I tried to change that shade. I knew I wanted to keep it kind of different shades of yellowish, orangish, even like some lime green in there. I thought it was kind of cool because I started out doing greens in the TIE fighter right here, and then I wanted to change this to like some lighter colors over here, so I made this lime greens, and then it starts turning into more pure yellows and oranges over here. You can see I'm doing blues down here through where the lightsaber is, and in the background here I think I'm gonna do like shades of like maybe purples. I know there's only one purple in here, but you can make different shades of purple by adding different amounts of water to it, or maybe mix a little bit of purple and blue together, mix a little bit of purple and black together, a little bit of purple and maybe some red together, make some maroons, or maybe I'll just do all sorts of different colors. It really doesn't matter to me what colors you use as long as you're being neat with it. Okay, neatness is key. That's one of the things I'm going to be grading you on, and just the variety of colors you're able to create too. Okay, one last thing, don't make too many lines bisecting through everywhere. These big lines that I made with the rulers, just make about like 5 to 7 lines. You don't have to go crazy with this, as long as you drew your pictures, your images real nice and big and you had them overlapping. That's the main thing you want to do. Okay, so again, make sure when you're doing the good copy, you make your images really big on here, and you have them overlapping each other, even cropping off the edge of the page right here, and then just draw like 5 to 7 lines with a ruler going through. They really don't even have to go all the way through the letters. You can just like make it into the background and make all different fragments in the background. It doesn't actually have to go through your images or your items, as long as you overlap them a little bit. So there's a variety of different ways to do this. Just have fun. And again, if your watercolor tray gets a little dirty, like this one's a little dirty right here, I'm just gonna take some clean water. Okay, this water's trying to get a little murky. I should change it. And I'm just gonna wash all that yellow out of there, like that. And you can even use a little paper towel to just kind of blot that away too. Okay, so that cleans it out. There's also white over here. You can make some lighter shades of things. You can kind of like, mix colors together, and you can mix them together in here too, in these spots. There should be mostly new watercolor trays out, but obviously they're gonna get dirty in a quick amount of time here. So good luck, and do a good job. Thank you.